Hi, welcome back. Waxing on Friday, and have I got a treat for you? This is something, it just blew me away when I saw it. I mentioned to you Wednesday about getting some albums gifted to me by our friends Wendy and Bert. I went through and I found this one. I didn't even know it existed. I had to come home and I've listened to it. I mean, this is unique in so many ways, and it certainly was right out of left field. I never saw it coming. Let me just read you a little bit about, were written by the artist. At the time I was born, my father was a musician, a violinist. He still is. Actually, his father was involved with London Philharmonic, if you can believe that. I was surrounded by music and musicians. My parents wanted me to become one too, so they suggested I take violin lessons. Like father, like son. Finally, I gave in. My choice, to their surprise, though, turned out to be oboe and English horn. I played these instruments for many years and even studied at the Royal Academy of Music in London, when I found out that what I really wanted to be was an actor. We've looked at a few albums by actors that have come back and done albums. I mean, I think of the albums offhand. I got William Shatner and Sergeant Joe Friday, Jack Webb doing albums where basically they are just reciting lyrics over an orchestra behind them. We've looked at albums by Queen Latifah, who I mean was a musician before an actress, and did another one, Bruce Willis. I think of others, Scarlett Johansson, Zooey Deschanel, all these people. This one is totally different. I mean, we've got somebody here who's a classically trained musician, became an actor, and then got an opportunity to put out an album. And instead of doing an album like the rest, you know, coming out and singing and doing stuff, he went back and did an orchestral album, conducting and leading a band and as well contributing a couple of tunes to it. You know him as Donald Ducky Mallard from NCIS. My generation, we know him as Elia Kyriakin, the secret agent from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. It's David McCallum. Who would have thought? And I had never seen this coming. I mean, I should recognize part of it because when he mentioned about playing English horn, I remember one episode of Man from U.N.C.L.E. where Elia's playing this English horn, doing a song called "A Man is a Horn" as part of the episode. So, Elia Kyriakin and David McCallum, a part of me. There's actually a pair of albums. There's another one called Another Part of Me that came out, or A Bit More of Me, I think it was, A Bit More of Me was called. And on this one, he's conducting the orchestra. Now, arrangements are by a guy named H.B. Barnum. And I didn't recognize his name at first. I looked back, and not only was this guy an actor and did some performing as well, he was well known as a arranger for people like Count Basie, Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, Little Richard. He's got a lot of arranging behind him. He did the arrangements for this one. Front cover, just to give you an idea what the back cover looked like. This was on Capitol Records, I believe. Yeah, Capitol Records. But you know what was even more surprising? When I went on to the streaming networks, it's on there. I mean, I thought I had something very obscure nobody would even have known about, and the streaming networks are actually carrying it. Let's take a look at what he's put on here. Mix of popular tunes, some original tunes. 1, 2, 3, we got Pete Seeger's Turn, Turn, Turn. The In Crowd, Taste of Honey was a big hit for Herb Alpert. Yesterday by the Beatles. I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. I mean, he's going right from Seeger to Jagger, you know, one end of the spectrum to the other. We Got to Get Out of This Place. Downtown, the Petula Clark tune. Far Side of the Moon, there's one that McCallum wrote himself. He's got 2 tunes on here that he wrote. Louise, Insomnia, the second David McCallum one, so Insomnia and Far Side of the Moon, both by David, and a song called Sugarcane. Now, I just flashed through quickly. I'll go back and show you again here. So we've got David McCallum, H.B. Barnum there, and you can see the group is not really a full-sized orchestra, kind of a smaller orchestra that he's working. You see David on the table, or on the stool there, leading the band, and the size of group we have. Now, I tried to go online and find out who was actually playing on here, and there's part of the problem. Again, back in the mid-'60s, they really didn't put a lot of information down about who was here. I can't tell you who the musicians were. I would have loved to have known who he had playing on the album for him. But it was a different kind of idea. Again, so many of the actors now, when they get a chance to do an album, go out and do a singing album, and some of them are more successful than others. this one was going back to his roots, going back to the orchestra style. And again, he tried to incorporate a lot of different styles of music in here, you know, from folk music to rock to his original compositions. And tell you the truth, I think it works. I listened to it. The arrangements have an unusual sound to them, mainly because of the size of the orchestra, the instrumentation. But it's a really interesting album to check out. And again, a very different side of Ducky or Elia or whoever you know him as, seeing what he could do as a musician. Again, there's two of them out here. This one called A Bit More of Me. The second one is A Bit More of Me. Both of them are on the streaming networks. Hey, check them out. You never know who you're going to find in these old albums. I mean, this is great. Anyways, that's it for this week. Next week, we got some more finds for you. So everybody, have a great weekend. Check out McCallum. Check out Fogarty. You won't be sorry. We'll see you next Monday. Until then, take care. Stay safe. Thanks for stopping by.